Hi folks, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to discuss how I added story elements to my project, to Dividend Dynasty, using AI. So let's get into it. Um, Firstly, we'll start off with the images themselves. If I go through these images, we have a number of characters of different ages in the theme of uh, castles and the heraldic theme, to kind of go along with the Dividend Dynasty theme itself. So just supporting the brand theme and trying to make it fun and something that isn't too finance related, because let's face it, graphs can be boring. So to make things fun, we've chosen this theme and we've created these characters. Now, it's not that hard to create these characters these days. The hard part is to keep it the same theme. So I've used ChatGPT to do this, and we'll go into that straight after we go through the images. So we created images according to each investor type. We typically have three different profiles. That's these guys here. So you've got your high yield, you've got your dividend growth, and where's the last one? Here we are. You got your defensive. So we've just added that into our prompts to make sure it puts in some. Okay, in the defensive, it's got a castle. In the growth, it's just got someone who's energetic and young. And in the high yield, he's got a coin for a shield or a coin on his shield, depending on what the image is. So that's also the growth one. Sorry, the high yield one. And this is the growth one. So trying to keep them in the same theme. It's very hard to do using ChatGPT, but at least we got a result that is usable. So we've put that in there and tried to adjust wherever it's made mistakes. And for the subscription tiers, same thing, to try to be more inclusive. We've put in like an animal in there. We've also made it a male and female couple. So we got a king and queen for the king subscription tier. For the explorer tier, we got an explorer couple and an explorer dog. And for the aristocrats, we got an aristocrat couple and their falcon. So trying to keep to the theme, still going with the claymation style. We've created these subscription tier images. And then for the hero image, we just wanted a castle, and we ended up with two variations. We ended up with this variation and this variation, which is the one I've used because it just looks better. I like it better. It's got more towers, aspect ratio is a bit better, and the location isn't too elevated. This kind of looks a bit unrealistic. It looks like it's on top of a volcano. So we went for this one instead. So we can get into how these were created. So this is my chat in ChatGPT that I used. First off, I asked it to detail out the profiles and the questions for the three different investor profiles. So I built those out here. I gave it a bit of guidance on that over here. And you can see there's not too much in there. It's just giving it a guide on what I think the three investor profiles are and to explore those. So it's done that. It built out our questions. So these are the questions for the actual wizard itself, which I thought were quite good. And then I asked it to create images for those characters, and it did this horrible job. So this is the boring sort of stuff that I was trying to avoid. So we went into a bit more detail, and I used the create image function here. So that gave us the features from the new model, the updated model. And this is the prompt I used. and I tried a second option for Studio Ghibli just because everyone else has tried, so I thought I'd try that out too. I didn't go for this one, but it started off with claymation, and I liked it so much. I thought, let's just keep that theme. We had this issue here with the double crowns. I got rid of that in the end. So that's where we started, and this is the theme itself. So we ended up with these. That was way off, so I skipped that. Freddie Mercury in a armored suit look, and we went with the claymation. It just seemed a better fit, more playful, more interesting, and we ended up with all these variations here. Some of them have made it to the end cut. Some of them we may use later. And in future versions, I do want to make a younger characters, older characters, so you can pick your age group and maybe male and female hero images, so that you can pick your gender as well. And we can also see how that would affect the profiler. Maybe there is different risk profiles based on those selections. So we would go with that in the end. And this was the tidied up, cleaned up version. And it did this funny stuff here, which I just went in and cropped out in the end. And I made a version where I've also cropped out, I've gotten rid of the text and cropped these guys separately in Photoshop. And so I asked it to using a certain character to create success poses, and it did this, which was nice, but way off. You can see it's duplicated the same character. I don't know how to avoid that. It often does these sorts of things where it gets the it gets the instructions slightly wrong, and then it got it right, so that was good. And we went on with trying to select each character, and there it goes again, making the mistake again, selecting each character and creating a success pose, so that when you finish the wizard, there's a success pose. And some of these are way off because it had nothing to do with the original character. Almost kind of looks similar, just doesn't have the crown. So, I could fix that. You'd easily be able to fix that. You'd just go in and say, change to crown, and see how that goes. You can see these things being used quite a lot, so it's running a bit slow compared to. Let's pick that option. See what it does here. So you can make adjustments, just whether or not those adjustments come out the way you want them, well, we'll see. I often go into other software to make adjustments. Sometimes I jump into Photoshop and make adjustments. But you'll find for things like these themed generations, like Claymation or Studio Ghibli, or some other theme that we found lately in the latest 4.0 update, they don't really match. If you go out into Photoshop and ask it to, okay, just fix this little area here, it just won't get it right. So it's best to try to do it in the same software and then just make retouching edits in other platforms. So let's see how far this has gone, whether it's just changed that one area or everything. Okay, it's made it like a turret. Interesting. Still better than before, so that's positive. But it's changed other things. You can see there, right? Like if we go back up, and this is all the characters, so I won't go through all of them. But if we go back up to that image, That was the original. So let's scroll straight down to the new one. Nothing to do with it. So let's give it inaccurate editing. So you can see the issue here. It will generate another image. It's a cool image, but it has zero to do with what you asked it to do. Zero to do with the original. It's changed this, but it's also changed everything else. So these are the challenges you get working with generating images. But we ended up with a decent result. There are quite a few there that worked out well. So we'll head over to the next part. Now, let's see the outcome. So if we go to the investor profiler, I've already completed this. So let's just start over. This is the start screen. And you basically go through, don't need to zoom, that's fine. Go through and select the questions that suit you best. Now, I was selecting the high yield answers, but I'll see if I can get a different profile up. You've started your journey, so off you go. Your path to your dynasty that you're building, answering all these questions, and we got defensive as our selection now. So these are the key characteristics. These are the stocks that are best suited for defensive, and your next steps are to try it out in the stock screener, which we've created a native stock screener now. So you can see here it's attached it to your screener to give you guidance, and it's pre-filled the screener with the appropriate choices. And then if you go into one of these, you can see the actual profile. You can calculate returns. It'll clear your calculator. Chuck this into the calculator on its own so you can see if that's suitable. Go back into the screener. Just pick a different one. If you save it to your portfolio, you can select the portfolio, create a new one, and select however many stocks you want to add and save it off to your portfolio. So yeah, they're the new features. And this theme, I think, just makes things a bit more lively, a bit more friendly. Gives the brand a bit more of a personality. So it's good to do these sorts of things. And I suggest if you've got a project that you're building using Replit or V0 or Lovable, that you go into another tool that's made for generating images, maybe Midjourney or ChatGPT, and create these images. And this is where I've used them in the pricing table. And I may make some more and dot them around different areas, different pages to give it a bit more of a theme, or even possibly layer this. So, maybe the background in the clouds can be a parallax layer just to give the top part of the page some movement. So there is lots of opportunities there to give it a bit more of a personality, make it a bit more engaging. So that's it for today's video. If you're interested in trying out Dividend Dynasty, leave a comment on the video, and I may even give you a free account if you give us some feedback, some useful feedback. I'm looking to engage with people that want to try out the tool and give some feedback so that we can refine it some more. So drop a comment and like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.